you need to hit the video button on your end. There should be something like a little icon of a video camera,
Okay.
and you hit
Just a
that.
minute. Oh, let's see. There, can you see me?
No, I don't see you yet, but
I
it's
can
not.
see you and hear you.
Hi, Orty.
Hi, Aunt Katie. Happy birthday.
Oh, that's Jane.
Oh, hi, Jane. Well, happy birthday to you too.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Good.
So you can see me now and hear me.
I can only
We missed
hear
you at the
you.
big celebrations, but all my siblings loved reading the articles you emailed.
Well, thanks. Yeah, that was, there aren't that many Robert Shonkas, so it was pretty easy.
No, it was neat that you even searched for them and found all that.
Yeah, did you see the Facebook posting I did about Grandpa Shaka's corn husking contest?
Yes, I have that in a frame. My mom had given it to me for Christmas one year.
Oh, really?
We could get it off the wall. I hung it up. It was in the closet. And a picture of that Grandpa had in his wallet forever of him, my mom, and Uncle Mark. I think that year. I don't know.
Oh, neat. Yeah, that'd be neat to see.
That went with that article.
Can you see us now?
I still can't see you. We can talk. I mean, it would be nice to see you, but
okay.
There should be a little like movie camera camcorder kind of icon in the bottom left corner. Stop video, start video. Are you on a
I'm not good at Zoom either. Where would it be? I don't see anything. There's just something that says Orton Ortwine, 2 dots.
When I did this, then it did.
Yeah, I said iPhone 14. That just says iPhone. Oh, now you got a bunch of stuff. Now what? Start video.
Yeah, start video. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't want you to see me. Okay. Go sit over there by Mom.
Yeah, here we go.
Have fun, Ort.
Thank you.
So I love your interviews. I always try to listen to all of them.
Okay, great. So, yeah, it should be fun.
We were talking earlier about the fact that Grandpa was not a very good driver.
No.
But one of his favorite things to do, and Katie, you can tell him the story now.
No, you tell it.
Well, anyway, so he used to love to pretend to pick up hitchhikers on the road. And we'd go down Highway 30, which is a very busy highway.
Mom, you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
First cross-country highway in the United States. Is this better?
Yeah.
Better anywhere?
I can hear you now.
Okay, let me go over here. Okay, let me go over here.
Well, try to sit down again and see.
How's this?
I can hear you fine. Yeah, for some reason you broke up before.
Okay. So anyway, he'd stop at the big stop sign that was just half mile down the road from our house, and he was going to get on Highway 30. So he'd get on Highway 30, and there'd be quite a few hitchhikers right after World War II that nobody had cars or gas or whatever. So he'd slow down, and then he'd pass the hitchhiker, and then he'd stop, and the hitchhiker, of course, thought he had a ride. So he'd run to the car, but as soon as he got close, Daddy'd pull away.
Kind of mean.
Yeah, it was kind of mean.
So
I think he thought he was a big wheel because he had a nice new Buick and he had gasoline. So he was a big wheel.
He was a big shot. He had gasoline. Not everyone did. Yeah.
What else did we talk about, Jane?
The breeze.
Oh, yeah. In the summertime, our house was out in the country and it was very hot. And they had, nothing to cover the house like a tree or anything. So by evening, it would be pretty hot and we'd all go upstairs and try to sleep. And it was so hot. And I was on the south side. I slept in I don't know if you remember this, the Rose Room.
Yeah. I don't remember the old farm at all, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, the Rose Room was my room and I had rose wallpaper with roses all over it. Anyway, I'd go in there and lay down and open the window. And of course, there was no breeze from the south side of the house. And Daddy had the best breeze in the house. He had a south window and an east window, and the breeze always came out of the east for some reason, if there was a breeze. So that was his room, of course, and Mom slept in the hired hand room when we didn't have a hired hand. But anyway, that was the secret, was to get a breeze that would go through the bedroom window. And so Daddy got it. He, in all fairness to Daddy, he had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and milk the cows. So
Yeah.
he needed to sleep.
So you had a separate room for hired hands if you happened to have
Yeah.
one?
Mhm.
Did a lot of
And
guys?
if there was more than one hired hand, they slept out in the barn and the haymow.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very fun. Like, were there a
No.
lot of hired hands, or like how many
They
guys?
had a couple, I think, during World War II, because Martin wasn't around.
Yeah.
He had been drafted and he was in China. And so, and that was one of Martin's biggest moments of embarrassment when he,
when your dad got him out of the war, out of the service.
right.
Yeah.
He appealed to the senators of Nebraska that he knew very well because of his association with the Rural Electrification Association.
Yeah. Well,
So he called Roman Hurska, who was another Bohemian, and he got Martin out of the war 6 months early. And Martin was very embarrassed about that.
So where's your sister? Where's the woman of the hour?
Right here.
Okay.
And who
Hi.
is that? Artie, how in the hell are you?
How are you?
The question is, how are you? Because you're 95.
Oh, I'm doing good.
You
I
look
had
good.
quite a big birthday party. I wish you would have been here.
I wish I could have been there, but I heard it was fun.
I wish you could have too.
Well,
tell me some news, Art.
Well, kind of want to hear about you. So what's your official birthday? What day and year were you born?
I was born in 1928.
Wow.
My birthday is 9/22/28.
Well, congratulations and many more.
Well, thank you very much. I don't know how many more there could possibly be. I'm pretty darn old.
So what's maybe the first thing you remember?
Me?
Yeah, that's fun.
Well, I remember one time the folks put me in the kitchen and then they all left and I was in that kitchen all by myself. And I was just a little girl.
Yeah. And did
It was
you?
a pretty big house too, with a big kitchen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how Grandma used to give you orange juice to feed Aunt Bert, and you drink it.
Yeah, Grandma used to give me juice to feed your mom, and I would drink it. Your mom wouldn't get any.
No wonder Aunt Bert was sickly.
Yeah, that was probably after I was sickly.
So last time we talked, you said you used to ride a pony to school or a horse?
Yes, we did. My dad bought us a little Shetland pony.
Wow.
And its name was Bessie. And we would ride it to school. And it was, we is Martin and I. And Martin was 2 years older than me. And I would have to sit up on the hump of the pony.
Why?
And away we would go to school.
Why would you sit on the hump?
Well, so that I wouldn't touch Martin. He didn't want me to touch him.
That changed.
And your school was a one-room schoolhouse, right?
One-room schoolhouse, and my teacher's name was Mrs. Wolfe.
Mrs. Wolfe?
Wolfe.
Yeah.
So was every grade there?
There was every grade there, 1 through 8.
And there's one child in every grade while you were there?
There was probably 1 or 2 kids in every grade. Yeah.
Okay.
That must have been hard on your poor teacher.
It
Hi,
was
Katie.
a good thing. It was.
Sorry, you're kind of breaking up
It
again.
was a pretty good school.
Yeah.
This time, and we would play catch, and simple games like that.
Did you play hopscotch?
I suppose.
Yeah.
Did
Sounds
you?
like
Did she start the day with the kindergarten kids
I suppose, yeah.
and then move up to the 8th grade?
Uh-huh.
Because it seems like you would learn a lot from the other grades if you were a young kid and
Sure.
listening to the
Yeah.
teacher.
Right. Well, Artie, tell me some news that you have.
oh, working at the library and fun stuff
Uh-huh.
like that, but I don't have much time to talk, unfortunately. That's how this works. But what was high school like? Did you date in high school?
Well,
Yes, you did.
yes, I had all 4 grades of high school, and I was a cheerleader, like your mom. I think your mom was a cheerleader too, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Mom, did you have guys to date or were they all at war?
No, the guys were all at war. There weren't any guys around for us to date
Really? Before or after high school?
during high school.
Really?
Uh-huh.
They got drafted in high school?
Huh?
They got drafted in high school?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
Well,
you could.
Artie,
Yeah.
tell me some news about yourself.
He wants to know about you during this half hour. That's all.
Yeah. I'm
He'll
not
call
very
you later.
interesting.
Huh?
I'm not very interesting. I live
Oh,
in
you
Chicago
are
and
too.
I work at the Chicago Public Library, and that's
neat.
about it. Not married or anything.
I
So,
think that's pretty interesting, Artie.
Mom, tell them
well,
about learning to fly an airplane.
Doing what?
Tell him about learning how to fly an airplane with Smokey.
Yeah. My husband, whose name was Smoke Havelka, he taught me how to fly an airplane. Or
And tell them what kind of airport he had.
did you hear that?
yep.
Yeah.
So tell him about tell you already about the airport.
Well, the airport, what do you want me to tell it about?
Well-
What was it? Was it a like Will Rogers World
Oh,
Airport?
it was about 80 acres, and we would fly in there and land, and Highway 30 would go by there,
Was
and-
there a hangar?
and on the airport were about 3 hangars, and it would house those airplanes.
What kind of airplanes?
Oh, Piper Cubs.
Okay.
Did
The
you
little
fly
planes?
upside down with Dad?
Huh?
Did you fly upside down with Dad?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, they'd come over the farm and kind of shake the wings a little bit and
Yeah,
then
that's illegal.
turn it upside down and fly upside down. We're lucky they didn't fall out of the airplane because there was no cover on the seats of the airplane.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So that's
Yeah.
like those World War One airplanes, like it's open.
Right. Right.
Oh, wow.
They were called Piper Cubs. So look that up and maybe you can get
Yeah.
a picture and put it in this video.
Hmm.
And then Mom, tell him what happened when Dad, that he was a flight instructor and he was teaching you how to fly when he told you it was time for you to solo.
Now, what, Jane?
When Smoke was teaching you, because he had a lot of students and he was teaching Katie how to fly as well.
And he would teach me how to fly upside down and what have you.
But when he said it was time to solo, what did you do?
When he told me it was time to solo, that means flying by yourself, I was chicken shit and I wouldn't do what he said. I refused to go up by myself.
So what did he do?
What did he do?
Yeah.
I don't remember. What are you talking about?
You always told us that he got so mad at you. He parked the plane and he said, "No more flying for you. No more flying lessons for you." And that he even slept in the hangar for a week.
And he even what?
Slept.
Put the
Slept in the
Put the phone
airport
on
for a week.
no.
Well, we want to talk to you.
Slept for a week at the airport.
What?
He slept for a week at the airport.
Yeah. Well, his parents didn't probably want him.
Cool. I didn't know you knew how to fly. That's awesome.
Yeah, he did. He taught me how to fly.
Yeah.
And Joan of Katie and Smokey's kids, Joan learned how to fly. Did anybody
Yeah.
else, Jane?
She was the oldest.
Mm-hmm. And she learned how to fly. She still flies. And her son is taking lessons, I think, too, right?
Oh, neat.
Ryan.
Ryan.
So those are
Yeah, and
little-
Smoke was a really good pilot. He was a pilot at the end of the Second World War. And then
Yeah.
he came, and the government did what, Katie? They gave him a grant to build the airport,
To what?
build the airport in Schuyler.
I don't know.
I don't know about that, but all those GIs coming home use their GI for dad to pay dad to teach him how to fly.
Okay.
And a few years ago when I was in Schuyler, these old men would come up to me and say, your dad taught me how to fly. That was neat.
It's wonderful. Yeah. He was a good pilot, and then he taught others how to fly too. And then the government, I think, pulled the grant away and was going to do something else with that money. And so Smokey, whose real name was Frank, by the way, Hovelka, and Katie left, and they went to teach after the Second World War ended, and after they ended their career in Schuyler with flying, they went down to Georgia and taught as a civilian flight instructor for the Army at
Army Air Corps.
in the Air Corps. What was the name of in Moultrie, Georgia, and the name of the airport was what?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'll have to think of it.
Hawthorne?
Huh?
Hawthorne?
No, I don't think so.
What was the name of the base one?
She can't think of it either right now, but we'll think of it before we end the
So
conversation.
Smokey was in the Army for a time.
No, he was not. Well, he was.
Army Air Corps is what they
Army.
called the Air Force then.
They called
Yeah,
it the
yeah.
Army Air Corps, and he was during the end of the Second World War. He was in the Army Air Corps at the time, and he learned how to fly there at the end of the war. And then he came home with that knowledge and was able to teach other people how to fly, which the Army was crazy about because we hadn't really had an Air Corps yet.
Right. Yeah.
So a lot of people got paid to teach people how to fly. And it was almost always men. There weren't any women flying yet, or
Yeah,
very few
except
anyway.
except for Aunt Katie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except
Flying.
for Amy.
So when did you meet Smokey?
When did I meet him?
Hmm.
Well, he said he fell in love with me when I was a cheerleader, and he was up on one of the top benches at the football game, and he spotted me down there cheerleading, and that was where we met.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yep. And he was announcing the football game, wasn't he?
Oh, probably. I don't
And
remember.
I think it was over a local radio station, but he was also announcing it for the crowd at the game.
So he was a
We had a
little
pretty
bit
good football
older than,
field.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. What?
he was a little bit older than you, Aunt Katie.
Yeah, he was about 7 years older than me.
Okay. Okay.
That's a lot older.
Yeah, which was
Yeah.
very scandalous at the time.
Yeah,
So
right.
so I bet he looked pretty good in his uniform during the war.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was very handsome in his uniform.
Yeah. Were you scared when he joined the Army Air Corps?
Oh, no, not at all. But anyway, then he had an airplane accident, and that's how he died. Or,
Yeah, yeah. That was
Uh.
a long time later. Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
The girls
why-
were quite young.
Good.
The girls and John were quite young. Joan was only 14, I think, when
No,
Uncle
she was
Smoke died.
15 or almost 16.
He was what?
Yeah, yeah.
John was 8.
Yeah,
We're 8 to 15.
yeah. John was 8, and the range of age went from 8 to 15.
Yeah, yeah. And why was he called Smokey? Because he was caught smoking.
Well, he was called Smokey because he was a young boy, and he was smoking with some of his friends. And they said, "Hey, look at Smokey," because he was smoking.
I think when he was like 6 or 7 or so,
Yeah.
he
Jade,
was caught smoking.
Jade thinks he was about 6 or 7, and
Yeah.
he was caught smoking.
And it might have even been like corn husks or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Speaking
it was-
of corn husking, we were talking about your dad's
Okay.
farm. There was a big corn husking competition.
Yeah.
On the farm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a
Do you
picture of
remember
Uncle
that?
Smoke. Can you
Huh?
show me?
He probably can't see that.
Can you see that?
Oh
Let me
yeah.
see. Here,
Oh wow.
let me see. This is Uncle Smoke.
Oh, okay.
Let me get it there.
Yeah, I can see him. Wow, handsome young man.
He certainly was.
Yeah. Cool. What is that magazine?
This is called the Hawthorne Herald, and it's from the air base that he was on when he was teaching.
Okay.
Here, show.
I
Scan
think
that.
he's got this. This
I know,
is
not that picture.
You want me?
yeah,
to
he's
do
got that too.
picture?
Did you see this already? This is
No.
about
That's the corn husking.
the corn husking contest.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to, well, you guys have it already, but I'll have to see if I can find that. Is that what, the Skylar Sun, or what is that?
Yeah, it was in the Skylar Sun. I think you have it.
It might have been the Memorial. I don't know.
Yeah,
Mom,
I mean,
warm up.
not all the
I
old
think
people.
this is the picture of the two kids and Grandpa. You probably
Warmer.
can't see that too well.
Jay,
Oh,
this is
neat.
so nice. You need to put that someplace.
Drink some water.
Okay, and what else would you want to know, Orts?
Well, just
Let's
Aunt
just
Katie,
put
do
that
you
picture
remember
there.
that big corn husking competition?
Do you remember the corn husking competition?
Mm-hmm.
She
A lot
said
of
yes.
people?
Oh, lots of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you say the other day you were afraid you were going to get lost?
Yeah.
Or Grandma thought you might get kidnapped.
Yeah, I saw
She was
some.
pretty scared about
Did you
that.
say?
Yeah. You've seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
Neat. Pretty little
Yeah.
girl. Yeah.
So that was the corn husking contest, and Martin and Katie were about 8. So we're
Yeah.
about 7, 8, something like that.
Yeah.
And Grandma was very scared they were going to get kidnapped. So she kept them very close to the house. There were 27,000 people there that day
Wow.
on a 150-acre farm.
So a lot of cars, I bet. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
There's some more pictures that I have, but I don't have them here.
Yeah.
But
to
maybe we
see
can take
that.
a photograph of that sometime.
Yeah, totally. Well, cool. Well, this was a lot of fun.
Well, okay, are we done?
I guess so. So what?
You got any more picture or any more questions? Katie, do you have anything else to tell about the farm, or Mom and Daddy?
I just had to milk cows. I don't know if you know that or.
Not really. How was that?
Yeah. I used to have to milk cows, and we had about, I would say 20 cows that we would smoke, and we had a part of the barn that had places where we could hook the cows up. We'd put their head in there, and then we'd lock them up, and we'd sit there and milk them.
What did you feed them while they were being milked?
Oh, I suppose hay.
And that would come from the hay mow up above, right? Right. And then what time did you have to get up before you went to school to milk the cows?
Oh, pretty darn early.
Was it still dark outside?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably about 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Right.
And then
So-
what time did you get home from school?
We got home from school about 5:30 or so.
Really, that late?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
That's a long day.
If we had to ride that pony or walk or whatever, it was 2.5 miles to our school
And the
from the farm.
and
So
the
that took a
school,
little
was
while.
that? So that's a
Huh?
lot of cows. I mean, that's a lot of milk. What did you do with all of that milk?
Well, we'd take it in to the house, and on the back porch was a separator, and we'd pour that milk in there, and it would separate the cream from the milk.
Okay.
And then
then
what?
you would,
Huh?
And then what? Did you sell the cream and the milk?
Well, Mom had a lot of women customers in town that would buy that cream from her. And I don't remember what she charged,
I
but
think it was
anyway,
$1 a quart, I think, at the time.
probably something like that. Yeah.
so you would put it in glass bottles, I guess, and
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
And grandma would wash those bottles and sterilize them
yeah.
with
So they would
boiling hot
bring-
water.
So it's the same people all the time, and they would bring the bottles back, and she'd give them new ones. and-
Right. Exactly.
Actually,
Yeah.
she'd pick them up when she'd leave off the next port. And then
Yeah.
she'd have to wash them out and clean them and stuff. And she delivered every quart of milk to every house in town that wanted a quart of milk.
Wow.
And
So
she would
you're,
collect it. She would collect it on the same day that she dropped off the bottle of cream.
oh, every teenager needs to see this video because you had it so much harder. You got up at 5 in the morning to milk the cows,
Yes.
then rode a pony 2 miles into town and
That
2 miles
No,
back.
not
town.
into town, to the one-room schoolhouse.
Wow. And was
I went to that one-room schoolhouse.
It was 4 miles into town, so we didn't want to go that far.
Tell them about going to the outhouse in the winter.
oof.
Yeah.
Oh, or we didn't have an indoor toilet to go sit out in the cold, and we had a would wet and make poop.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was horrible.
And you didn't have electricity either, right? Until
No, that's correct. We didn't have electricity.
Well, we had electricity, but it was one single bulb that
Well-
hung down in the middle of the room
That's all it was in one room?
per room
Oh.
until they got until I was like, I don't know, maybe 7th grade. Then they got some other new kinds of lights that were very pretty, but it took a while to
Well,
get
you told me, Mom, that they electrified the house when you were born. like
they
the day you
did, but
were
that
born.
was the one string, one
But-
light bulb.
But Aunt
and then-
Katie, you would have, as a little girl, not had any electricity at all, right?
That's correct. We had little lamps that had a little kind of like holders that would hold the kerosene or whatever it burned. And then it had a wick up above, and we'd light that. That would be our light.
Wow. Hard to
Yep.
see.
Yeah.
Would even the kids carry those around or just grandma? and
No, the
grandpa?
kids would. Well, grandma would take them upstairs to bed sometimes. I remember that, but most of the time they would carry the lamp up by themselves so that if they had to get up during the night, they could light the lamp and go downstairs or whatever.
And Mom, what was the chamber pot that grandpa used to carry around?
What was it? The
Chamber
chamber
pot.
pot?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Odie probably doesn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea.
Well, he'd carry a chamber pot up to his bedroom. I remember that.
And that's what he would pee in if he
Yeah.
had to in the
Mhm.
night. Oh my
Would
God.
he poop in there too?
I guess so. Yeah.
Think
But
so.
probably not, because he probably wouldn't have done that until he got out of bed in the morning.
But it had a lid.
And he'd carry it downstairs
Did he
and
ever
empty it.
spill it?
Huh?
Did he ever spill it?
I suppose. I don't
Things
remember.
our grandma-
Was
Oh, probably. But I don't remember that he ever did.
Tell
could
him about
you-
the separator.
could you, Katie, could you read by the lamplight?
Can I read by the lamplight?
Could you read when you were a little
Well,
girl?
at that time, that was how we read. Yeah, if we had to read something, that's what we would read by.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I'm
there's-
just wondering, like, what did you do for fun in the evening?
For what did we do for fun in the evening? Well, there wasn't a hell of a lot of fun.
after they milked the cows, they were pretty tired.
Yeah,
Yeah, tell
yeah,
him about milking the cows.
Well, I already told
yeah.
him.
She so you just kind of talked and I guess went to bed early, I guess.
What did you say?
So you would just sort of go to bed early.
Oh yeah, we'd go to bed pretty early.
Yeah.
You bet.
After they milked the cows, they did their homework too.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking, how could you read or write? I mean, by that lamp, that must have been
It
hard.
wasn't easy. It
Yeah.
wasn't easy. And it was lousy light.
Well, who
Yeah.
was your favorite teacher and why?
I suppose this Miss Wolf.
How about Mrs. Curly?
Who?
Curly.
I
No,
don't remember anything.
I don't remember what her maiden name was. That was her married name.
Okay.
But she had you guys in school. She always talked about that.
Yeah.
I did not get to go to country school because they closed it when I was a kindergartner. And I had to live with my grandmother for 17 years and go to
Was it
school.
was it cold in the winter? Must have been cold in the house.
Oh yeah, but we had a heater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was some kind of a stove. I don't remember what it burned, but anyway, we would all sit around that, and it was in the dining room. My home, my farm home, had a kitchen. Middle room was a dining room, and then there was a parlor,
Yeah.
and then there was a front porch.
Yeah.
It was enclosed, it was glassed in. And you could take the glass windows off in the summertime to provide some air on that porch, but
Would they do that?
they'd take them down, put screens up.
Oh,
So it must
And
have been
what's
hot
that?
in the summer and cold in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the upstairs was cold because there was no heat up there. The thing that we did was we had an oil stove in the kitchen and in the dining room, and over those two oil stoves, they had a thing that kind of look at. Let's see if I can show you this air conditioner vent in the ceiling.
Yeah.
I can't get it right because I can't
I
do
got
it.
it.
But
I saw it.
anyway, that vent in the ceiling had holes in it, and we called that a radiator for some reason. Stove, the oil stove below it. So the oil stove, heat rises.
Yeah.
So we'd light the oil stove, and it would go through that radiator into Daddy's bedroom, and I think Martin's bedroom, maybe in the kitchen. That one went into Martin's room,
Yeah.
and I think into the hired hand's bedroom. And that was it. My bedroom did not have a radiator. And Katie slept in there too when she was young. And so, some of us got heat and some of us didn't. But if you didn't get heat, the bedroom was very cold in the wintertime.
Yeah, that sounds cold.
And
Was
we
that
had
Go ahead.
we had beautiful feather ticks because we were Bohemian, and by God, we had feather ticks.
Yeah.
Now tell him what a feather tick was.
I know
Well,
what a
it's
feather tick is.
all summer long, Grandma would butcher geese and ducks, and she would save the down, which is on the back end of the duck and under the wings. So she'd save all those feathers, and in the wintertime, you would strip those feathers, which meant you took a hold of the top of the feather and pulled on the first feather below that top and pull it off the I guess they called it the comb, the middle bone of the feather, and you'd throw that bone away that the feather grew on, but you'd throw that down into a sack, and then eventually you'd wash it off, and you would put it into a feather tick or a pillow tick, and that was what you had for pillows and feather ticks. It was a lot of work.
Yeah. Sounds like you're always working.
Right. And then after dinner, you would do that until you wanted to go to bed, and then it was over. But it was a lot of work. And I remember Grandma Jonas doing that every night in the wintertime and listening to opera on the radio.
And Orly, my mother always got about 500 baby chicks.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were just babies, little baby chickens. And about 500 of them. And she
From
would
Oberg's in town.
feed them, and they had special little waters. And she would raise those until they were chickens. And but can you imagine 500 of
Yeah.
those little
That's a
babies?
lot of the
She would
Wait.
kill them more.
And you would.
So what would she
did
do with the
you
chickens
eat?
after she raised them?
Well, she'd sell them or,
And do what? Kill them?
yeah, right. She would butcher them. She would kneel down and put them between her knees, and then she'd hold their head back, and she had a butcher knife, and she'd slice them open, and
then-
they'd bleed to death.
And then she'd hang them from the clothesline and they'd bleed to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bleed out. Yeah. So
And then
what?
when she cleaned them, as far as what is cleaning, Ellen?
Huh?
Dressing them to sell, what is that?
What happened after
Okay.
she killed them? She and after they were dead, what did she do about getting the feathers off?
Well, she would have a bucket that she would have scalding hot water in, and she dipped those chickens down in there. That would make those feathers come off.
Okay.
Well, come off pretty easily, but she still
Yeah.
had to pull some of the feathers out.
Well, unfortunately, this meeting's going to end in 2 minutes. I can't control that, but
Okay.
I mean, I can set up another meeting and call you guys back in a few minutes if you want, or are you tired or what? Do you feel like talking?
Whatever you want to do.
Oh, you probably have enough of us.
No, not really. I've got nothing else. If you want to keep talking, I can set up another meeting quick, or what do you guys feel like?
Well, I don't know what else there'd be to talk about.
Oh, we'll
No.
think of something.
Well, we'll just.
Well,
if
do you want to
not,
do
we
that
can just-
tonight?
What's up?
Do you want to do that tonight?
Yeah, do it tonight.
Or we can do it another night.
Well, you can do it tonight if you want to.
Artie, tell me where you live.
I live in Chicago. I work at
Oh,
the
I see.
big library downtown. Yeah. So not too far from your sister. I just live, down the road really. So yeah, but unfortunately these meetings can only go on for 40 minutes, but I can set up another one quick and call you guys back. Is that okay?
Okay.
Or you feel like going
Yeah,
to
that's
bed?
fine.
Okay. I'll have to
Okay.
end it now, but I'll call you in a little bit, okay?
Okay, sounds good.